Excel, Module 1. Go ahead and open the Excel spreadsheet 1-4. The first thing that we'll notice is A5 is missing text. They accidentally skipped a row, so we actually need to bring up everything from A6 to A11 up. So using your Open Plus to select, hold, and drag, and then on the border of the range that you just selected, it changes to arrows. Hold and just drag it up, so you just shifted it up. Next thing you'll do in A11 is type total, and then tab. We can use the auto sum feature or the shortcut Alt equals, and it should be equals sum B5 through B10, and I'm going to use my check mark, and I can also drag this across so that it uses the same formula but for C5 through C10 for that column. In A12, type average, tab. Now for the average, it's the down arrow to the auto sum and select average, and just be careful because it's selecting the total and you don't want to include that in the average. So I'm just going to reselect so that it just is focusing on B5 through B10, and then you can check mark. And I just want to show you a different way. You could actually use your fill handle and copy the formula, but I just want to show you again for average. Again, it's going to include the total. If you hold the shift key and press the up arrow, it also reselects correctly for you. And you can go further up, but we'll stay right here. C5 through C10, check. Go ahead and select in D5, and what we're going to do in D5 is actually take the expenses and multiply it by the 2.15% that is in F2. So the formula will be equals, and I'm just going to press the left arrow, and that selects C5 for me, asterisk, which is multiply, and then I'm going to click F2. Now in the formula bar, you can see that it's just the letters F2. The first one, that's C5, that's called relative reference, and it'll go down C5, C6, C7, that's fine. But F2, I don't want it to go to F3, F4, I want it to always remain at F2. So what I'm going to press is those function keys at the top of the keyboard, the one that's labeled F4, and it puts a $sign in front of the F and a $sign in front of the 2. So what that means, it'll never look anywhere beyond column F or row 2, so it'll always be that cell where the 2.15% is. So I'm going to check and then fill handle all the way down to row 10, and if you check your formulas, so if I'm just going to use the arrow, but if you're looking up here in the formula bar, it's going to be C5, now it's C6, C7, but it's always times $sign F $sign 2. So here we're ready for our auto sum, so I'll use my Alt equals, and it should be D5 through D10, and again the average, auto sum down arrow, average, make sure it does not include the total, so the up arrow, D5 through D10, and then we'll click in F5, and we just want to know what is the percent increase between 2020 and 2021. How much did it increase? So for the formula for this will be equals parentheses C11 minus B11, close the parentheses, divide by B11, and check. And it's 5.67%. In A14, type your name, enter. And in order to print this, if you click File, Print, there are no lines in this. So instead, I'm going to choose Page Layout, and then in the Sheet Options, Grid Lines, I want them to print. File, Print, so now you have the lines. If you look down at the bottom, it's actually 2 pages. There's just a little bit on page 1. That's because it's in portrait. So we're going to change the orientation. You can change it here, but I just want to show you another way you can change it is go to Page Setup, and you can change it in here as well. So I'll choose Landscape. Then I'll go to margins. And just to let you know, did you notice that it's way up at the top? So now it's landscape, it's way up in the top left corner. So what I want to do is change so that it's centered both horizontally and vertically on the page. And the other thing I want to do, and you can just stay in here the whole time, change it, click the next tab, but I was just showing you the results. So do you want your information at the top of the page, header, or the bottom of the page, footer? Your choice. Either way, you're going to get 3 sections, left, center, and right. For the left, we're going to click, this is the calendar. It'll put a calculated date for you, so it'll be current date today. In here for the center section, this will be the file name, so it'll type in the file name for you. And then the right section should be your name. And then when you click OK and OK, it's centered vertically and horizontally. It has the line showing. It's in landscape. You have the date, the file name, and your name. And that's a save and submit. Thank you.